So today's video is going to be my November TBR. Now I know that this is uploaded a little bit late, but my mental health has been way too bad to film recently. It still is quite bad right now, but I decided to film today anyway because I have time. So yeah, this is probably going to be filmed quite fast, so this video will probably be a little bit short. But yeah, like I already said, my mental health is just not good enough right now to film like longer videos. So I'm just going to try and film my November TBR today, and then like another video after this, hopefully, that will also hopefully not take me too long. So yeah, I'm really sorry if that bothers you, like me posting like shorter videos, but yeah, I just don't have the like energy. So yeah, let's just get into all of the books that I want to read in November. So the first book that I want to finish reading in November is going to be a book that you guys will probably recognize from my October TBR, but I promise I will actually finish it in November because I'm like less than 100 pages like from the ending, so I should be able to finish it in November, and that is Pride and Prejudice. Now, like I already said, I also mentioned this in my October TBR, but I couldn't finish it in October, but I did read quite a bit of it in October, which I'm very happy about because this is obviously a classic, and I struggle to read classics because, first of all, I just struggle with it because of the genre, but second of all, also because my native language is not English, so it's difficult for me to read, but I am, as you can hopefully see, quite near the ending. Less than 100 pages, like I already said, so I should be able to finish this like in the next week or so. So yeah, hopefully I actually managed to finish this in November. And yeah, let's just move on to the next book. Then the next book is also probably a book you recognize from my previous TBRs, because this has been on some of my TBRs for like a couple months, a couple times already. So yeah, I promise I will actually try to read it in November. I don't know if it's gonna happen because honestly, I've kind of been feeling like just mood reading my way through the month, but I'm still going to put this on my TBR just in case I do actually read it, because it is a book that I want to read because I know it's going to make me cry, and I feel like I want to cry at books again. And that book is You've Reached Sam. Like I already said, I talked about this, I'm pretty sure, in my October TBR as well, so I'm not going to talk about it for too long. It's a sad book. I want to cry at a book again because I like doing that. So yeah, I want to try and read this in November. And that's all I'm going to say about it because, again, I've already talked about this book enough, so yeah. Then the next book is a book that I got an ARC from NetGalley, and that is Don't Ask the Blind Guy for Directions. Now, I'm already like more than halfway through this book, so it shouldn't take me too long to read it, especially considering that I read the first half of the book in like less than 2 hours. Like, it was very easy to get through. So if I just sit down with this book for like another hour, I'm pretty sure I could finish it. So yeah, I will definitely finish this in November also because, again, it's an ARC from NetGalley, so there is like a time limit on it. And yeah, I would prefer to read it before that time limit is there. So I am going to talk a bit about this book and what it's about because I feel like not a lot of people are going to know it considering it's an ARC from NetGalley. But this is kind of like a memoir. And obviously the main person, like the person who also wrote the book, obviously, because it's a memoir, is blind, and you basically like, you know, follow him, like realizing that he had problems with his vision and how he dealt with it and how he told other people and why he didn't tell some people and stuff like that. And yeah, so far it's pretty interesting. And yeah, I'm really glad that like I can find so many books on NetGalley that are like memoirs by disabled people. Like, I really enjoy that. I don't know how many at this point I've read, like memoirs from NetGalley from like disabled people, but quite a few, and I really like that. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna finish this in November. And let's just move on to the next book because I'm starting to get in a lot of pain. And again, this is only the first video that I need to film, so let's just move on. Then the next book that I want to try and read in November is This Poison Heart. Now, honestly, I put this on my TBR because I started reading it on a whim a couple weeks ago, I think. But honestly, I just am not someone who reads fantasy very easily. So I don't know if I'm gonna read this in November, considering once again I am in a bit of a like mood reading, like mood, I guess. And yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to read this in November. I might read like a little bit of it, but I don't know if I'm gonna be able to finish it because it is like decently big and I'm not that far into it. I'm only like what, like 20 pages in. So yeah, I might be able to read like just like half of this book, and that will honestly be enough for me. Like, I again struggle to read fantasy, even though I do have quite a few fantasy books on my bookshelf. But yeah, I do want to read them, it's just I struggle with them. So yeah, I am gonna try and read just a little bit more of this book this month, but I don't think my goal is gonna be to finish it. So yeah, then next I want to try and read some more manga volumes this month, because I do have to catch up with my reading goal, because it is already November and I'm still like 10 books behind, and I do want to reach it just because, again, I've already said this before, I really like pushing myself when it comes to stuff like this, because it does distract me from like the reality of life, I guess. So yeah, I am really excited to try and catch up with my reading goal, but I'm not going to be able to do that unless I read like a bunch of manga. And that is what I'm going to try and do this month as well. I did that last month, which I actually had quite a good reading month in October. You'll see that in my October wrap-up that I will post, I don't know, in March or something, because I'm really behind on my wrap-ups. But yeah, I had a really good reading month in October, and I'm going to try and do that again in November. And I want to try and do that by reading more volumes of Haikyuu. Now, like I already said in my October TBR, I'm pretty sure I want to read these so that I can catch up with my reading goal, like I just said. I also want to do that with like another series, so I'm gonna put this down and talk about the next series. So the other series that I want to do that with, to like again read so I can catch up with my reading goal, is Demon Slayer. I didn't grab any of them because they are quite visible on my bookshelf, but I'll still put like a picture of like one of the volumes, I guess. But yeah, I do want to try and read some of these in November. I did start reading them a couple months ago, and I got up until like volume 9, but then I stopped because it was really sad and I didn't want to continue reading, and then I never picked it up again. So I do want to continue and maybe read until the volume that I have, which is I think volume 15, so maybe volume 10 to volume 15. Maybe I'll read those in November. We'll see, I guess. Again, I have no idea if I'll actually do it, because again, I am in a mood reading like mood. So yeah. Then lastly, in November, I want to try and read some more like mangas I can read online. So ones I don't have physically, and I'll just read them online. They're a very good way of like getting ahead of my reading goal, again, because that's the whole point of this TBR basically. And yeah, again, like online mangas are a very good way for me to get ahead of my reading goal, because I tend to read them a bit faster, considering I also don't have to hold up like a manga. Even though they are like a lot lighter than books usually, they are still difficult for me to hold sometimes. So yeah, being able to read like online mangas is a lot easier sometimes. So I do tend to like read multiple ones like one after another, whereas I can't do that with mangas that I have to hold physically, because I have to take breaks in between. But like I already said, with online mangas I don't have to do that, so I read them faster, so they're like a very good option for me to get ahead of my reading goal. But yeah, like I already said, that was the last thing that I put on my list for like my November TBR. So yeah, those are all of the things I want to read in November, or try and read in November. I currently feel really ill, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to film a second video, which really bothers me, because spending so much time like on my makeup and on my hair just to film like one video that's probably less than 10 minutes long really bothers me. But yeah, I'm gonna see if I can try and film a second video. We'll see how I feel in a couple minutes when I change my outfit. But yeah, thank you for watching this video. I really appreciate it. I know that me talking about like how bad I feel can sometimes feel like annoying, but if I don't say stuff like that, like I feel like my pain is not completely valid, I guess. I don't know how to explain it, but yeah, it's just like a bit like cathartic for me to talk about it. I don't know if cathartic is the right word for it, because I just used it like on a whim. And like I already said, my native language is not English, so I might have used it wrong, but I can't think of another word because my pain is getting too bad for me to think straight. So yeah, thank you for watching this video. I really appreciate it if you watched until the ending. Again, I am gonna try and film a second video now. So yeah, I'm gonna end this video here. So bye.